Hello, so this is the introduction to adding rational expressions. So, as you may recall, our introduction to rational expressions was began with an example just involving numbers. And we will do the same thing here. So, let's say that we have 3 over 7 and we wanted to add that to 5 over 7. So, how would you do it? So, seeing that our denominators are exactly the same for both expressions, we just add the numerators, so 3 plus 5, that's equal to 8, and we just copy the denominator right here. So that is how we add two fractions. However, let's say that instead of having the same denominator, we have slightly different denominators. So in this case, we have 3 over 7 plus 5 over 14. So how we do this is by first finding the least common multiple. So what is the least common multiple? So the least common multiple is the number, and we will later on learn that it's expression because we are working with polynomials. The number or expression that can be factored by the the smallest, okay, by the two polynomials, I don't know, in question, or the ones we're working with. So in this case, what is the smallest number that can be divided by 14 and 7? So we quickly find that 7 times 2 is equal to 14, and of course 14 times 1 is equal to 14. So we find that the least common multiple of 7 and 14 is 14. And so how can we transform 3 over 7 to a fraction having a denominator of 14? Well, we do this by using this number right here. So whatever we had to multiply 7 by to get 14, and we multiply the numerator and the denominator by that specific number. If we hadn't multiplied the numerator by it, we would have changed the expression completely. It wouldn't represent the same thing. This would not be equal. So you must remember that you need to multiply the numerator by exactly the same thing that you multiply the denominator by. So in this case, it's times 2. And as you can see, actually a very easy way to see why this is true is that 2 over 2 is equal to 1. And you know that any number, so let's call this A, times 1 is just equal to itself. So multiplying 3 over 7 times 2 over 2 doesn't change the value at all. And then we add 5 over 14 to it. This is equal to 6 over 14 plus 5 over 14. And so we get the answer that 3 over 7 plus 5 over 14 is equal to 11 over 14. Now, how to find the least common multiple? So, to find the least common multiple, first you need to factor both numbers. And then combine these factors to find the lowest expression or number in this case we're just working with numbers, to find the lowest expression that contains all factors. So continuing with the example we had before, we have 7 and 14. Let's factor both of these out. So 7 is a prime number, so we know that it's just 7. Of course, you could put times 1, but that's not necessary. And then we have 14, which is 2 times 7. So what is the lowest number that contains all factors? So 2 times 7 contains all the factors in 14 and also all the factors in 7. So that's how we found it 2 times 7. Let's see a slightly kind of more complicated combination of numbers. So what if they don't have this like a common factor like right here? So let's say that we have 8 and 7 and we want to find their least common multiple. So 8 can be factored into 2 times 2 times 2, and 7 can be factored into 7. So most people would believe that the least common multiple would be 14. However, this does not contain all factors. This contains the 7 and the 2, but it doesn't contain the other two 2's. So when you have a number, let's call this A, and A right here, just having one A is enough. However, when the A and the A are factors of the same number, you must have both A's. So 14 is not the answer. This is 7 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that is equal to 56. So our least common multiple of 8 and 7 is 56.